Hello, YouTube, and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be playing some NBA 2K21 Triple Threat games while talking about my top 10 favorite movies of all time. And I'm dead broke, so I'm gonna have to replace with other characters. Yeah, we'll go with that. But yeah, I'm doing this because I've wanted to talk about my favorite movies for a while. I don't know why. I think it's just something to have fun with, you know. But yeah, my battery's about to die on my phone, where I've got the list of all of the things that I have to say about these movies. So yeah, let's just get into it. Starting off at number 10, we have the movie Fear of Rain, which is a movie all about a young high school student with early onset schizophrenia who strongly believes that their neighbor has kidnapped a small child and now has to investigate independently when no one believes her. Because the woman is apparently doing well at covering her tracks, the family investigate, they find nothing. She has to go at it on her own with a mate of hers. Now, I love this movie because it's an incredible concept, and it really helps you understand what it's all about, really. Like, a lot of people just think like schizophrenia is just, the Joker, but when really it's so much more than that. And I love the fact that this movie explores it a little bit more, and teaches the everyday struggles. Also, I like the comparison that she makes by comparing it the way that she thinks things are real and people she are talking to that are real that aren't really there. I like the way she compares that to people who talk to God, which as an atheist I believe that's not real either. So I like that. I like that bit. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about this movie. I love this movie. It's an incredible movie, and I strongly recommend it. I thought it was a Netflix original for a little while. Came to realize it is not. You can get this movie a lot of places, really. Also, excuse me if I'm being rusty at this game. I haven't played in a fair bit of time. But number 9, we have the 1978. I want to say 1978, but it's probably 74, isn't it? I think it's 1974 classic, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, quite a few of these movies are horror movies because that's my favorite genre of movie. I love horror movies. I love the way most people do them. Most people. There are a few that just aren't good. I'm looking at you, thanks, Killing. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre, what can I say about it? It's one of the classics of horror. I literally have Leatherface on both my home screen, my lock screen, and my wallpaper for WhatsApp. So, not just him, amongst other characters. But yeah, this movie, the main reason I love this movie is for the second half, which is when it all really kicks off. Oh, my defense is trash. When, after the geezer in the wheelchair gets chainsawed to death, it all really starts kicking off. There's a massive chase scene in the forest, which I really like. Leatherface cutting his way through with the chainsaw while she's just like ducking and weaving. She runs through the house. She jumps through windows twice, which is very cool. No matter what you think of this movie, you can't deny that jumping through windows is not cool. It is very cool. And the one complaint I have about this movie is this woman needs to stop screaming so much. There's too much screaming. I'm just gonna pull up threes with Kobe every time. But yeah, there's too much screaming. My mother was in the vicinity while I was watching like half this movie, and she was just like, "Does this woman ever shut up?" And I have to agree. But it's still, it adds to the tension and the feeling of just fear that is going through this woman's head. And I heard about like the scene in the attic where she's tied up, where it was like a 26-hour shooting day on a hot Texan day in a blacked out room with hot studio lights, where people just had to step outside to throw up, like people playing a game of sports on a hot day in, well, Texas probably. But yeah, this movie is incredible, and I really want to watch all the Texas movies, but I don't have them. I only watched that one because it was free on Prime, and I have Prime. I don't have all the Texas Chainsaw movies, and I win. But yeah, moving on to number 8. My number 8 pick for my number 8 favorite movie of all time is Legend, a movie that, is it Netflix? I don't think it's Netflix, but it's on Netflix. and it is a movie about the Kray twins, two gangsters from the 1900s, I believe. There's Reggie Kray and Ronnie Kray, and it's all about after Ronnie was sent to prison and he was diagnosed as a paranoid schizophrenic, and the trials and tribulations they go through as brothers and as twins very much when when Reggie meets a girl and wants to get married, and she wants him to give up the gangster life, and he says he will, but he doesn't. He hurts her severely, and then if you've seen this movie, you know what happens after that. And the ending to this movie is just really sad. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, they have amazing storytelling, and the guy who plays both Reggie and Ronnie Kray, the guy who plays Eddie Brock from Venom, I've forgotten his name. I forgot his name. Yeah, that guy. Oh, I love him as an actor. He's incredible. Great actor. So yeah, love this movie. I'd highly recommend it for everyone to go watch. And coming in at number 7, we have Halloween Kills, released in 2021. Now this is a direct sequel to Halloween 2018, which was a sequel to Halloween 1978. So it's a threequel to the original Halloween. The Halloween timelines get so messed up, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, this is honestly one of my favorite. You know, Pull Up 3 with Zion. This is honestly one of my favorite Halloween sequels that has ever been released. If I'm being honest, I haven't seen all the Halloween movies because I don't have all the Halloween movies. They've got like Halloween 1 to 6 on Netflix, but I haven't seen them all just because, like, I watched the first Halloween movie and it was just so slow paced and so boring that I just couldn't. Like, it's good, it's a good movie. It was a struggle to finish just because of how slow it was. And that's probably just a byproduct of my like impatience and short attention span. The fact that I didn't particularly like the original. But Halloween 2018 is one of my favorite movies. Not on this list, but it's still great. And Halloween Kills is even better because Michael Myers is so cool in this movie. Like the original scene where he comes out the flaming house and strikes down all the firemen. Oh my god, that was beautiful. And like the whole thing with Big John, Little John, that was one of the most horrific kills. It was Big John, I think it was the most horrific kill, where he got his eyes gouged out and just. Oh, that was a damning kill. Little John's line at the end of that was just brilliant. It was incredible. I love that scene. And then the scene with the mental patient going into the hospital, who everyone thinks is Michael Myers but isn't Michael Myers. How that ends is just so sad. That is honestly one of the saddest scenes I've ever seen in a movie. And like the end scene where they're all ganging up on Michael Myers, and then he just gets back up and just slays them all, because apparently evil doesn't die tonight. But yeah, it's just, oh, this movie is so good. It's so good. There's so many things to say about this movie. I'm gonna leave it there. I can't wait to see Halloween Ends. Halloween Ends comes out October 30th or October 31st. It will make sense to come out on Halloween, wouldn't it? But it comes out at the end of October, and I'm so excited. I'm getting it like soon after it comes out. I just really want to watch it, see what happens. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Coming in at number 6, we have a very different, like, changing the tone from the horror movies a little bit. We have the movie The Theory of Everything, so the movie all about Stephen Hawking's life, where Stephen Hawking is portrayed brilliantly by Eddie Redmayne, the Newt Scamander from Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Incredible actor, one of my favourites. This movie is, yeah, as I said, it's all about Stephen Hawking's life. Since before he had motor neuron disease, I think that's what it's called, motor neuron disease. And as it was developing, you could see it getting worse and worse as the movie went on, and eventually him having to have the surgery that meant he could never speak again. It's a heartbreaking movie, but it's also a very happy movie, because like it ended up like he still was able to do everything he would have done. He was given a predicted lifespan of 2 years after the diagnosis. He lived till he only died like less than a decade ago, which is fair play, Stephen, because he was fairly old when he died. So he's one of the two people that I respect the most in history. Him and one other geezer you'll see on this list later. Yeah, the acting was great. The plot was great. Or the plot, or his life was great. I love science, and just seeing his theory kind of broken down into like simple terms so that even the non-scientists could understand was eye-opening, and it was incredible. The study of black hole. I tried to read up on it, but it had a lot of big words, and I am but a simple man. So yeah, love this movie. Absolutely recommend it. It's on Netflix. Again, most of these are on Netflix. I've just realized. Okay, moving on to number 5. We have the 1980, I don't know when it was. It was sometime in the 1900s. It was either late 70s or early 80s. And we have A Nightmare on Elm Street. The original, the first one. Not the 2010 Platinum Dunes remake. That was a horrible movie and it should burn in hell. I'm sure it is. But this movie, it's one of the many people call the big threes of horror, alongside Friday the 13th and Halloween. Halloween is not on this list, or the Halloween Kills is, and Friday's not on this list because I really enjoyed the original Friday. I still haven't finished Friday 2. I've got them all, not all of them. I haven't got Jason Goes to Hell or Jason X, but a lot of people told me you don't need to worry about them. They're not worth it. I'm excited to watch Jason Takes Manhattan though, because a lot of people hate that movie, and I want to see exactly why. But like, Nightmare on Elm Street, it has one of the greatest villains in it with Freddy Krueger. That guy is so cool. For Christmas I got his jumper, his stripy sweater. I don't know where it's gone, but I really want to find it because I love it. It's incredible. Now I just need to get a fedora. I think it's a fedora. It's either a fedora or a trilby, and I can't tell which. And I need to get the razor claws, and I need to get makeup that makes my face look like melted cheese, and I'll be good for Comic-Con. Yeah, this movie, and also the protagonist, the final girl, Nancy something. I've forgotten her last. I think it's like Nancy Thompson or something. Is such a great character, played so well in the first movie, and she comes back for two others. I don't know which ones. I think she comes back for Wes Craven's New Night. I know she comes back for Wes Craven's New Nightmare, but I don't remember what others. I think she comes back in Dream Warriors or Dream Master. I don't think she's in Dream Child. Thank God for that. Thank God she dodged that bullet. Yeah, it was an amazing movie and a great start into the land of Freddy Krueger. And I'm currently on the 4th Nightmare movie, Dream Master, and I'm very excited to finish it. I did really like Dream Warriors. Nightmare on Elm Street 2 was alright. It was quite good. Like, I enjoyed it, but it's like not my favorite out of them. I prefer the first and the third one more, and I'm pretty sure Dream Master is going to be my least favorite of the ones I've watched. My least preferred one, because it was still good when it's a nightmare film. Of course it's good until we get to like the later ones, like Wes Craven. No, Wes Craven's New Nightmare was alright. It was alright. It was better than like I've forgotten the titles of them now. But anyways, yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street, great movie. Would absolutely recommend. Now at number 4 we have the 2019 installment to the Child's Play series. We have Cult of Chucky. Now this is like a direct sequel to Curse of Chucky, which was a movie all about the protagonist Nika Pierce and her awful family, as they have to deal with the fact that someone sent them a Chucky doll and it's alive. And as her whole family get killed off, apart from her niece, the child, because she don't get killed on screen, she gets killed off screen, sometime between Curse and Cult of Chucky. And as she lives, she is sentenced to a mental institution, which is where Cult of Chucky takes place. I think it's an amazing setting. the completely white background really gives the impression of like captivity and being trapped, just as everyone in this movie feels, I'm sure. Well, with being trapped in this place with a killer doll about. It has Nika Pierce at the forefront, which I love, and I hate what happens to her, but it was just such a good. It was so good, wasn't it? I'm not gonna spoil what happens to her, but just watch Cult of Chucky and then watch the Chucky TV series, which is getting a season 2 October 5th. I'm so excited. I'm buying Now TV subscription just to watch that. That and Game of Thrones. But we move. And they brought back Andy Barclay at the end of Curse for like a post-credit scene. And they brought him back even more in Curse, no, in Cult. And that was like he was like one of the main protagonists by the end. And it was like, oh, that was so good because they actually brought back the guy who played him in the first Child's Play movie, Alex Vincent, I think is his name. He's also a major character in the Chucky TV series, which I really enjoyed. But yeah, it was nice to see all these plots like finally come together. Like they had the whole Tiffany Valentine or slash Jennifer Tilly plot line. They had the whole Nika Pierce with Chucky timeline. They had the whole Alex Vincent with his Chucky timeline. And to see them all congregate at the end and during the Chucky TV series was incredible. Coming in at number 3, we have another science movie. We have The Imitation Game. Now this movie is it's similar to The Theory of Everything in the sense that it's a science movie all about a scientist from history. Well, it's even technically from history. And that man is Alan Turing, the guy who was the fourth who invented Turing machines, which were we still use Turing machines today, just today they go by a different name. Today we call them computers. He was the guy who invented the machine that cracked Enigma during World War II, the thing which basically won us the war. And we didn't get the vote. But yeah, it shows you his early life when he was still at school, and the whole thing with Christopher and all that. It's sad. It really is. It's very sad. But like, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to purchase contracts without messing up right now. And then it shows him growing up, him applying to be on the Enigma team, or the team that cracks Enigma. And then it shows you him being basically an outcast in the group. Then he meets the woman whose name I've forgotten, who teaches him how to be a more sociable and likable creature, so that they'll want to work with him and they'll support him through all he does. And they eventually crack Enigma, but he is eventually sentenced to either many years in jail or conversion therapy, chemical castration for being a homosexual, which it's soul crushing to think about, because this was a great man right here. He was an incredible guy, and it's so sad that he had his life stolen all because of that. Because as you see in the movie, the medication that he was on completely took away who he was. By the end of it, he couldn't even do like a simple crossword without shaking and not being able to answer any of the things, and it was just so sad to see, because the one thing he was terrified of was being alone, and because of that he felt like he had to change who he was just so they wouldn't take everything away from him. And it's just such a sad, it's like one of the only movies in recent memory that's actually made me cry. And it's just so sad to see the text appear at the end of the screen during the bonfire, where it says how he died. Oh, and it just broke my heart, man. It just broke my heart. But yeah, on that cheery note, moving on to number 2, we have The Gentleman. Now this is a British movie directed by Guy Ritchie, the guy who made Snatch, which is apparently one of a lot of people's favourite movies. And this is a story about a drug dealer, a big time drug dealer who owned many estates, in which he used or rented out many estates from lords and such, and like aristocrats, like old school money, like lots of land and no money nowadays. So he paid them basically £1 million a year to just keep their house clean, and they didn't really care what he did. So he just grew lots and lots of bush, skunkamola, white widow super cheese, whatever you want to call it, down there, and then dealt that out for big money. But now he wants to cash in his chips and get out the game, so he's selling it to an American, a Jewish billionaire cowboy is what he's described as in the movie, named Matthew, who, oh god, leave me alone. But now that guy Matthew has pulled some strings in order to drive down the price of the business so he doesn't have to pay the 400 million. But he doesn't do that. He gets caught, doesn't he? And then it all meets up at the end with the present day, because basically how the story is told is the night before the end of the movie, the night before the final scene takes place, a guy comes around to see Mickey Pearson, the drug dealer's assistant, like secretary-ish thing, like right-hand man, basically, to tell him everything that's happened in the movie thus far. So he is the narrator, he's a storyteller. He lets us know about everything that's going on. And then the next day, the final scene takes place, and he is basically... he thinks he's pulling all the strings, but he's really not, because they all know what he's up to. And they've all stopped him. Yeah, it's an incredible movie, and I love the way they tell the story. And it's very funny as well, it's so funny. But yeah, I would very much recommend it to anyone over the age of, say, 13. Because it has got some harsh language and, like, violent things in it. But yeah, give it a watch, it's incredible. And my number 1 favourite movie of all time is, drumroll please. Okay, I promise I'll never do that again. Saw 6. So the 6th installment of the Saw franchise, which I believe is getting a new movie in like 2024, 2023. New one with Chris Rock. Not with Samuel L. Jackson, because his character died in Spiral. So sad. But Saw 6, it is basically it's the whole thing is basically one big social commentary on the state of healthcare in the US at the time, because this was made at a time where healthcare was not great, and I'm not saying it's great now, it's not by any stretch, and that's why one of the reasons why I'm so glad to live in England. Ooh, 91 Kyrie Irving, great. Yeah, basically, it's... Can I have... Oh, can I not? Oh, I've got a duplicate. I'll just sell it, I don't care, I've already got one. John Kramer has been diagnosed with a brain tumor that will kill him if he doesn't do something about it. And so he's going to an insurance company headed by this guy William Easton, who denies him coverage because he thinks it's not feasible. And Jigsaw is understandably angry about that, because he knows about all the corrupt things this insurance company is doing. This insurance company is basically lying to people and pretending people like have links to things that they don't, just so that they don't have to give them their insurance, and they don't have to pay out, they don't have to give them any money. And they have like a whole team of people doing that, and it's actually grim. But at the end, he gets what he deserves, because he gets turned into a big old bag of human toothpaste when he's injected with some chemical with fluorine in it, which is the stuff they use in toothpaste and tell you not to consume. So imagine being injected with it. Can't be very healthy, can it? But oh my god, the kills in this movie, the game in this movie, the challenges in this movie, oh, it's so brilliant. Like the first challenge against the janitor of the company, who's a heavy smoker, so they have to try and hold their breath for as long as possible. Oh, it was a brilliant game. And like the whole twist, um the family at the end wasn't his, it was the guy who he denied coverage and then died of heart disease because he wasn't offered his oh, there's just so much about this movie. Also, this movie has the best Jigsaw quotes of all time. Like, you think it's the living that will have ultimate judgment over you, because the dead will have no claim over your souls. People say it's the government or the doctors. I realise it's neither the government or doctors who have complete control. It's the insurance companies. Don't talk to me about money. I have money. This is about principle. See, Will, this is my life we're talking about here. No one has any contracts anymore. Yay. Yep, put your 1 of 5, and that is the end of my top 10 list. Tell me your favourite movies down in the comments. But yeah, till next time, thank you very much for watching. Have a lovely day.